Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar Friday on tap. Got some of my favorite plays ready for you to go on FanDuel and DraftKings, including some spots I think are great options. 4 home runs, some values, some stacks we are looking at, a starting pitcher that's really ramped it up in the strikeout department in a great matchup here tonight, and a beast of the night I think goes off tonight. Who are we talking about? Only one way to find out. Belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition, Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack. Good to be back here once again in the Fantasy Bar. 6 guys fresh off the tap for you here on FanDuel and DraftKings for this big Friday night slate. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the video. Before we get into the plays, you guys know the drill by now. Take a second, click the thumbs up button. Helps us out tremendously here, so thank you for that. Subscribe to the channel. Check out scoresandodds.com/beer. That link in the description of the video. And once again, our leadoff play can be found in our intro video, both on Twitter and on our RotoGrinders YouTube page. All right, let's dive in to the rest of the plays here for this big Friday night slate. Coors Field, once again on the docket. We'll find some plays for you outside of Coors Field. Let's start in the outfield here with Kyle Schwarber of Philadelphia. So you look at some of the numbers here. Dude, power is basically the name of the game. Schwarber hitting under 200 here, but a ton of home runs and power, and of late, been really swinging a good power stick. 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Over just the last 4 games alone. This guy's been phenomenal against righties. We know that going all the way back to the start of last season. We're talking 377 WOBA and an ISO way up at 313, and I love this matchup here. Mitchell Grove really a struggle with lefties. Some of the worst numbers that you will see. A WOBA approaching 500 allowed to left-handed hitters. ISO over 300 here. Schwarber in a great spot against Grove, really struggling with left-handed hitters. All right, let's knock that catcher spot out on DraftKings with Sean Murphy of Atlanta. Murphy been very good righty on righty. We're talking to WOBA just a tick under 400. Nice power numbers as well. 261, and Gray loves to throw that fastball. That's his primary pitch. Bad news here against Sean Murphy. Hits that pitch extremely well. WOBA over 400. ISO checking in at 241. Now Gray has kind of reversed what he's done in the past. Usually was bad against lefties, has fixed that a little bit, but sacrificed some of the good that he had against righties in the past. 352 WOBA, 200 ISO allowed this season. A lot of hard contact as well at 46%. Huge total in this game. Love the stack here, especially when you can knock your catcher out as part of it with Sean Murphy. All right, first base, third base up next with Spencer Steer of Cincinnati. So Steer been very productive here over the last 19 games, 11 double-digit DraftKings points. So some massive games in there out of Spencer Steer. A ton of upside here in the mid-range. Really hitting lefties well. 392 WOBA, 246 the ISO. And a good matchup here with Jordan Montgomery. 351 WOBA allowed to righties. ISO checking in at over 200. And a lot of hard contact given up at over 45% here. So Steer feels a little bit cheap. Don't mind the stack here either, honestly, with the Reds. Think they'll go a little bit under-owned with all the other options here on this slate, but Steer has shown, has a ton of upside, hits lefties very, very well, to get him in those lineups tonight against Jordan Montgomery. All right, starting pitcher up next, we're rolling with Tyler Wells of Baltimore. So slow start to the year, but man, has this guy been good of late, really getting it going for this Baltimore team, and it's been powered by the strikeouts. 7 or more strikeouts now in 5 straight starts, averaging almost 8 strikeouts per start over that same stretch. So really been dependable in the strikeout department, and what a matchup he gets here. 4 strikeouts. Kansas City, historically over the last couple seasons, was not a huge strikeout team. That has really changed this season. 5th highest strikeout rate in all of baseball against right-handed pitching. You look at some of the other stats, WOBA, WRC+, we know how bad the Detroit Tigers are. Well, Kansas City right down there with them. Only the Tigers worse in those 2 departments against right-handed pitching. So not a lot of guys that are going to do a lot of damage here generally against right-handed pitching with the strikeouts the way they've been here. Love this matchup here tonight for Taylor Wells. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Very easy to play. Just head to the comment section after you've clicked that thumbs up button and guess fantasy points on FanDuel tonight for my highest scoring hitter. Doesn't necessarily even have to be the Beast. Don't even have to try to guess who it's going to be. Just a number of fantasy points. The closest guess going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. All right, let's wrap this baby up. Let's finish the week strong with my favorite play for Friday night. You know, Matt's the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We're going to keep things pretty cheap here. Once again, in the mid-range at shortstop, we're rolling Francisco Lindor of the Mets tonight's beast of the night. Now, another game here I love to target. I think stacks are certainly in play here. LINDOR feels a little bit too cheap. 9.5 the total here on this game. And we know the big bat in that Mets lineup, Pete Alonso, who I like a lot here as well tonight against the lefty. But LINDOR's ISO right there with Alonso. Alonso at 309. LINDOR right behind him at 307, so a ton of power against lefties. Now, Rich Hill certainly had his moments. I think he's pitching a little bit over his head. He's picked on some of the lowly teams in the league here. Tough matchup here with the Mets. 349 WOBA allowed, 228 ISO, and hard contact in spades here for righties. Over 53% against Rich Hill. Love this spot for the Mets. Love Francisco LINDOR tonight. Easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's beast of the night. All right, guys, that'll do it here for Friday night in the Fantasy Bar. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points on FanDuel for my highest scoring hitter for a shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist